Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Hearthstone Battlegrounds, Lobby Legends, Raid Leaders. That is a lot of words, but the most important point that you need to take note of is that we have only finished our first 2 games of the day. So, Alyssa, you are still here with us. Thank you very much for casting this whole time. Can you take our players and viewers once more through what kind of format we are playing?
Yes, we are playing a check format, which is the first time we've ever done this in Battlegrounds, meaning we don't end after a certain amount of games. Normally it's like, oh, we're going to play 3 games or 5 games and whoever has the most points wins. No, what we are doing is we are having our competitors meet 2 conditions. Condition 1, they have to get to 20 points. Once they've met that condition, then they need to get a first place. So the first person to get to 20 points and then get a first place will win the lobby.
That is right. And now that we have 2 games in the books, we are starting to have our front runners rise to the top here. 2 players tied at 9.5 points, which is roughly half the first condition met already. And we did have Kurt take down that second lobby already, I think, gaining himself a lot of fans, both for his play and his adorable cat whose tail shows on the camera. Nice framing if I've ever seen it. But Kurt is for sure one of the players that is perhaps less known among our top 8 to the main community here. I think that we ended up with a nice mix in our top 16 of some players who are more prominent because they've been streaming, or longtime community members maybe coming from different game modes as well, like Collins. But we also have a lot of new blood here. Kurt is one of those players that's been playing Hearthstone since 2015 in Constructed, but has moved on to Battlegrounds. So did you get to ask him any other information?
Yeah, I got to ask him quite a bit about like his favorite comp and his favorite minion. He loves pirates, which, you know, automatically makes me a fan. Favorite minion, Captain Hogger. Favorite hero, Gallywix, which goes well with Hogger. And favorite comp is Exodia Pirates. But he also said that you can catch him on Twitch at twitch.tv/CapNCurt. CAPNCURT 44. So if you've become a fan of Kurt through these games, make sure you go check out his Twitch channel. Go give him a follow. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. And as we go into game number 3, we see Educated Calm with some excellent hero options. Probably going to avoid the Omu because of some rough situations earlier, but Tess and Scabs offered. Tess being quite a great hero in the lobby. Works well with Scabs, but, you know, obviously there won't be a Scabs and a Tess in the lobby unless there's a Sir Finley. No mechs, no pirates, and no Quillbore available.
Yeah, 2 heroes that are very similar in their buddy effect and their hero power effect. And I noticed they even have this sort of parallel portrait here, each with the other arm raised there. But Tess generally considered to be higher power ceiling of a hero here, because in the late game, she can steal multiple minions when you have lots of gold available to you. Just press the button, you get to see your opponent's entire board. Pick any huge direction-defining minions or maybe additional Amalgadons, and then just be a better version of them. The tricky part of playing Tess, though, is navigating the early games. So what kind of style do you prefer to go for?
I mean, with Tess, what you're trying to do is play a tempo-oriented early game just to be safe. And then once your opponents start popping off, you just start stealing what they've gone for. You're just trying to stay as safe as possible. You can steal some triples early because a lot of players will be going for the same early minions that are really powerful, but basically just trying to stay safe until you can start stealing all their juicy stats, their brands, their light fangs, whatever they have. And the fact that there's a Gallywix in the lobby is really nice because Educated Collins will be able to get some early tempo when stealing a Gallywix buddy. Also Kurt's buddy from, is that? Yeah, that's Sky Captain Crag.
Yes, it is. Yeah, a lot of good.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't work. Does not work, sorry.
Refreshes your hero power, but like it's still something you can use with Test, right? If you want to get 2 copies of something your opponent only had 1 copy of on board, you can press the button as Test twice and get 2 copies. So kind of inefficient, but it's not that there's no value. And I generally think that as long as there are battle cry based buddies that you can steal with Test, that's great, because a lot of the time the low value buddies to steal are the ones that have to be on board, start of turn effects that you have to wait a whole turn to get value from them. But the battle cry you can cycle nicely. So like Gallywix is a huge one there as well. But we can see here for Panpada, I went for the ooh because he had the double alley cat start, which is amazing on Gallywix because you can just print gold the more tokens you buy, because with this hero power, it means you get to stockpile your gold for the next turn, additional amounts based on how much you've sold. So the alley cat costs 3 to buy, but you get 2 gold back from selling and then another 2 gold the next turn.
Yep, doesn't hit a token here, but we'll have a roll. And as we go over to Ken, we see Ken is starting to scale up a Wrathweaver. This is quite a popular way to play Mutinous, because then you'll be able to spit the stats of this Wrathweaver onto the buddy when you first get it, and then eventually spit those stats onto some Divine Shield minions. Keeping in mind there is no Mex or Quillbore in this lobby. And we see now Be Nice has offered a triple Alley Cat. Could go for triple Alley Cat or could go for triple Tabby Cat. That is an option he can go do, but not anywhere near hitting his buddy.
Yeah, generally, if you have the board space, I do prefer like selling out of Alley Cat, the gray/purple one first, and then you put it back in the pool and potentially get value to triple again later on as you first take the triple on the brown cat. However, with Zyrella, he has buffed the original body, the purple Alley Cat first with the hero power, so there's more value to holding on to that just to creep the buddy meter up and win the fights a little bit more consistently. Ken here, I think should be expecting to lose quite a few of the early fights as Mutant, as you generally take a beating in these early turns as you are setting up the big buffs for your buddy to get spat on. But later on, when you get the payoff from the buddy, that's when Mutinous stabilizes. But we do have Kurt here, winner of the previous game with a nice demon setup, but a kind of terrible shop.
There's a pair. I see probably the worst pair in the game, but it can knock some small tokens early. It's not the end of the world, because with Skycap and Crag, if you find triples, then you can power level. Oh, yep. See, that's a double triple there, because if you sell an Alley Cat, then you can triple the Tabby Cat, the brown cat, and then you can buy the other Alley Cat for the second triple. The question becomes, how do I make space on my board? How do I utilize my gold? Because you would have to sell out of an Alley Cat first.
Well, no, right? He can take an Alley Cat, then, yeah, you create the
he could do it this way, exactly.
Right.
Sorry, my bad.
No problem. This is it still has its problems, right? Because I don't think he necessarily wants to triple into a 3-drop, which means that he'd have to hold the golden Alley Cat in hand, which is a lot of stats missed out, which means the next fight could be a little bit scary and also less of progress towards your buddy meter here.
Yeah, he really wants to have the buddy by next turn.
Mm-hmm. And the buddy gets so good when you have this many minions with the same stat line for attack and health. However, speaking of meter, this Mutinous is just getting stonks because apparently Ken has spat the Wrathweaver onto an evolved Chroma Wing, which is amazing because after you level, you get the double attack and you kind of do a bit of a Vol'jin cosplay and then spit those stats onto the eventual buddy that Mutinous will get.
And we see Be Nice over here did not get his buddy, is going to play out the Alley Cat to triple the Tabby Cat, and then likely going to level and hero power if he sells, but he can get slightly better. We see Pampada on the Gallywix hits an early Nomi, which is quite a direction for Gallywix, along with a Razor Gore or Mama Bear. Mama Bear, a safer pick if he wants to just build some early stats. He is down to 29 health, which isn't terrible, but he is probably considering between those two because of that.
It is really close, but I really favor the Nomi here. I feel like Mama Bear just doesn't get you that much value with your hero power, whereas the synergy with Nomi is amazing. Yep, Panpada, a man after my own heart here, going for the greedier lines, and he is on tier 4, so the elementals can really start to pop off here. Like, with a Nomi elemental setup, you don't even need to go to tier 5 anymore, right? It's much more common to stay on 4, try and find the recycling rate as a priority, and then just cycle, and save up a lot of gold as Gallywix. Every Elemental is huge value, and he can try and potentially triple into another Nomi, or even Tavern Tempest could be huge.
Off over here on Lord Bear off. Lots of gold in hand, but no buddy. About to get the buddy, though. First, Gallywix. And I'm going to easily take this round but not deal too much damage to Gallywix. So I'm sure Gallywix is happy about that and does get the buddy because of the win. That is going to do the final tick for the buddy into hand. Wondering if he has a triple on the other side of the board. He does have two triples. Won't be able to level into tier 5 though for double 6, but will likely hold off because of the 31 health. He can't get put into the danger zone next turn. Oh, decides to go for a 5.
Yeah, I think because we got word from Zottel that Hoff has won every single bet thus far outside of turn 1 where he didn't bother betting, which is obviously not a super safe thing to do if you bet on turn 1, so very reasonable still that he skipped it. And having that many coins meant that I think if he didn't buy anything else, he wouldn't even have gotten full value from the hero power. So this is kind of just like optimizing gold and also being a bit stronger for the next fight, which he knows he'll probably lose because it's a Daryl, but he can minimize the damage by taking triples. But he actually takes both of them here, going for 5 drops, not interested in aiming for Fellbat.
Yep, he's still going to get a lot of tempo with this Mama Bear Cave Hydra. Has to spare a gold on rolling. Could buy that Soul Devourer in the shop, but likely going to hold off to use his hero power. Oh, he does go for it last minute. Hopefully he has the time. Does get the bet in. Goes for the Mukla win. We'll see if that pays off.
Yeah,
we see Zyrella did the double triple into double 5, hit the SI7 and a Crocolisk.
Yeah, nice Avenge setup here. The buddy from Zyrella is one of the few ones that has a minion type attached to it, Baby Alec a beast. So that's some built-in synergy to find if you hit the Croc or the Mama Bear. Nicely set up from Be Nice. It's going to be a victory for him, but not too much damage applied to Bayou on the Mukla. This Tad in hand also means that Be Nice has some economy, pretty good board state, decent amount of health. This looks like a game where he could realistically just keep power leveling.
Gotta keep in mind too that Lord Baroff probably a little sad he didn't get gold that turn because he did bet on the Mukla. And over here we see Gallywix is starting to buy tokens. These Murlocs count as tokens. Getting Tad as another token. He's doing this because he has his buddy in hand and he wants to get as much value out of it as possible. Has a good minion to put the stats on in the Cyclone. Could do one more roll. And there's a Tad in the shop.
Yeah?
Or no, sorry, he's gonna go for the Elemental though.
Oh, true, yeah. There's a Nomi, I just remembered. And that is a pretty good one to get from the Tavern Tempest. Not going to take it this turn because he doesn't want to play down on the board. I do like having maximum spaces filled out, especially since he has the Matron that you want to keep getting value from with the Avenge effect. That Cyclone could potentially be a triple later, but right now it's all about surviving for Panpada. He did get the spike here because the buddy came online this turn, but he is in the danger. And we saw that Be Nice has a Croc and potential more scaling here, so this is definitely still scary.
Yeah, we saw the Croc on the other side. We also saw the SI7. Some more Murlocs could be over there gaining poison. But this looking quite good, I believe, for Panpada with all that big minions in the front. Should be enough to give him the easy win here.
I want to note that Panpada has maybe been taking slightly greedier lines because he is currently in 7th place with only 5.5 points. It's honestly not that huge of a gap compared to our tied for first place players who are at 9.5. There is a huge rift though between Collins on only 1. But Panpada here definitely trying to get himself more in the lead by going for greedier lines. Is it going to pay off though? The Croc does go in the Nomi.
Oh,
he lives.
He lives because yeah, the 3 health or 3 tier, so 8 damage, leaving him at 3 health. And a dream. Dream of the Gallywix. Over here on Mutinous, we got a big spit. The spit occurred onto some elementals and a selfless hero.
Yeah, the selfless
spit again.
The selfless is a very weird minion because it doesn't look intuitive to try and get stats on this because you want it to die immediately. But turning selfless itself into a threat can be a real thing, right? You can say this is a high enough attack minion to take a trade, and then it also regenerates Divine Shield on something later on. The only awkward part is that if it takes a value trade and doesn't die immediately, you might not get value from the shield. So at some point, I think Ken will be looking to Argus focus up the Selfless Hero and then just work with that. He has 2 other amazing minions that he spat on, a Pseudo Cleave and a Divine Shield, and that's definitely enough to work with at this point.
Yeah, so we see he's about to go into the Gallywix, and Gallywix just trying to maximize as much stats as possible. So will his full board be able to defeat the board of 3 massive minions? It's a bit scary because of the cleave placement. Will the cleave be able to take out a bunch of minions in a couple turns? Over here on Barov, some selections being made.
Yeah, that we didn't get to see very much, but I do like that we're sticking with the Gallywix here. This is do or die for Panpada. Cleave goes on a high attack minion, so it dies straight away. That's good news for Panpada, but I don't think it's enough.
Oh, the Gallywix just isn't getting there in this tournament.
How?
We've seen so many Gallywix wipe out early. And Panpada out in 8th place.
Just kind of knew what he was doing yesterday, right? Just skipping over Galley, taking the cat. Like, that armor is such a huge difference, and Galley not having armor available. Even in a lobby where the beasts were in for tokens and elementals were in for tokens, just didn't get there.
Yeah, so Kurt on 3 health, but luckily got teamed up against the Ghost. Not a lot of great direction going on this side of the board. Kurt having 2 Wrath Weavers, but can only play 1 more demon without killing himself. And then has a Soul Juggler, but not a lot of demons to juggle. Over here, Educated Collins has found an Amalgadon. Still no brand, but doing the fun Macaw Trickster build to gain lots of health on his units. Only has 2 minion types though for the Amalgadon and no Bran.
Right, so he could hold on to the Amalgadon another turn. It does feel greedy though, because Barov is consistently winning bets here. Could be very strong. It's very hard to get a clear read here, but Collins is just going to get out of the buddy now here. Not interested in the next buddy. Yeah, like the Barov buddy. He's not useful at all for Tess.
No pirates.
Yeah. If Collins can survive the turn, though, and steal the Barov board, that can be the huge power spike he needs from here. Malgadon hits Divine Shield, which is huge, and he gets to spend the rest of his gold on just tempo, tempo, tempo. The Zarella buddy, huge here for him.
Yeah, hitting the Divine Shield is clutch because, first of all, he did not hit plants. Plants would have ruined his Macaw. Second of all, there are no mechs in this lobby. So if he whiffs on the Divine Shield, he cannot fix it. He can fix the poison issue. There are SI Sephins in this lobby. In fact, it's going to be in his next shop when he hero powers. So that Amalgadon is going to be beautiful after this turn, assuming he doesn't die here.
Yeah, that's a big assumption. I am very scared. There's 3 poisons.
No.
Okay, he might lose, but he'll never die.
No, not our Collins.
Okay, and he even...
There's some
eyes. Okay.
All right.
Huge deal. The Sephin is there, like you said, so fixable Amalgadon, and there is... Was there anything else interesting for him in the shop? Like, the Gas Coiler is a great tempo minion, but like you said, any other Death Rattle place here ruins the Macaw and Trickster guaranteed synergy.
Yeah, I think it was just the SI Sephins, and he might want to start rolling for taunts or something to just guarantee the Sephin will work. And I also want to point out that Kurt did survive to the Ghost. I was a little bit wary of him surviving to the Ghost because he didn't have a lot going on there. So he did take 1 damage, which means that he played 1 demon and got out of a Wrath Weaver, I believe, or else tripled the Wrath Weaver. So 2 health and a dream over there with Kurt, and Collins now getting this SI Sephins online, just trying to get as much scale as possible, possibly looking at that Argus just so he can get, oh sorry, he has an Argus in hand, trying to make sure units will die so his SI Sephin will give poison to as many as possible. He does taunt the Trickster, which means it could die and get sniped before Macaw goes off. But if you have a ton of taunts, then it's way less likely. Because if everything has taunt, nothing has taunt.
Yeah, he might get out of the Macaw even here. I was thinking maybe over that other minion he sold here and play double Sephin, but sure, it still has utility here if there are multiple taunts, like you said. Crucial to note that last combat, Collins sold out of the buddy, even knowing he would very likely hit the triple buddy the next turn, not greeting or getting baited by that, and he is absolutely rewarded because he barely tied the fight here, didn't take any damage, and if he can stabilize here, this is a huge board to steal.
Yes.
There is a Bran on the side of the Sky Captain Crag and an additional Amalgadon.
Yep. Yep, very enticing board for Educated Collins. He just has to survive. A lot of health just went on his SI7, and it should be enough to beat out Kurt, and Kurt will be going down into 7th place after this round with only 2 health. It is just not going to be enough to beat Collins. But will he get the poison? No, he won't get the poison on the second Sefin, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. He's got plenty. He is now into the top 6, which is the best scoring for Collins so far, and now he has on his way to get first because he has all these Amalgadons coming towards him in the late game, and he's going to have a Bran.
Checking in with Ken here. Actually took very little damage as Mutinous early on. Has the potential to triple here, but clearly has tons of tempo. Do you think he should settle for a 5-drop, or should he be aiming higher with all of this tempo he's bought himself?
Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks that he needs to be aiming higher just because we do know there's a test in the lobby, and that is quite scary to be going into, knowing that they probably are starting to accumulate Amalgadons. Going to be trying to get a big Devour going.
Ooh, yeah.
That is something that means that Ken is feeling confident in his board.
Yeah.
Thinks that he's surviving the turn. He's not going to take 30 damage. That's a confident play right there.
Yeah, I think 30 is, pretty hard to deal at this point, but he could take a lot of damage depending on how much poison Collins was able to get from that second Amalgadon. But here Ken just took a very calculated 50-50, narrowing down the board to 4 so that when he devoured the Selfless Hero, he had a 50-50 of getting the stats on the buddy here. And because it did land on the buddy, next turn when he devours it, he's going to get so much return on investment. Even if that buff lands on a poison that doesn't need the attack, the health is very relevant to keep even more threats alive. Over on Bayou's side, though, he has been scaling a very interesting board state. We have Hybrid Dragons and Goldren Beasts.
Yeah, you don't play this comp often or something?
I gotta confess, listen, nope.
Dragon Beasts? What?
I haven't lived, I guess.
No, yeah, this is very interesting. He's just doing what he can with what he's given, and it's enough, and he's going to be able to take out... No, yeah, because he's on tier 5. Take out Baba Fat on Dancing Daryl. Exact a lethal.
That's awesome. I gotta play this comp.
Yay! I'm sure he's looking for a bit more direction the next turn. It looks like here that Mutinous took 16 damage. We saw that he was on 30 previously. Finds a triple in the shop. Is going to be going for a 5-drop and will likely be spitting this turn. We haven't got to watch a lot of that in this tournament, so very exciting.
Yeah, the big spit is coming, but pretty interesting here, the ordering of the Wildfire Elementals, because he had an option, Ken, to play down the second copy of Wildfire before taking the third one and tripling it. And if you play 2 separate copies of Wildfire and then eat the buddy, you have a higher chance of actually landing those buffs on the Wildfire before you triple it. So I think this is a conscious decision from Ken here, where he says he wants to spread out the stats more on this board. He knows that by tripling Wildfire, it's going to be a big threat already in its own right. Perhaps he wanted more odds of landing the stats on the other buddy, which he absolutely did, or on the Bronze Warden, which has been a pretty good bumper this entire time, but he could turn it into a threat if he got more attack on it.
Yeah, notice that he did get it onto his second Devour, so next turn is going to be quite juicy for Ken, being able to spit 77, 42 more stats onto 3 more minions. This is the power of Mutinous right now. We see over here, Be Nice with
oh yeah, the winning
3 Amalgadons. This is the type of board that Tess is looking to steal. I'm sure Educated Collins will be thrilled to face this as long as he doesn't die to it. This is a very scary board, and I'm wondering if he'll put in the Presser's Pyrespawn in the end, because he should assume that Mutinous is running a bunch of Divine Shields.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Not if he's I think he's overconfident. He's not doing it. Yeah.
I mean, it might still be enough, but I honestly cannot tell for sure because we are looking at a Wildfire Elemental, which can 2-for-1 here, and a very cute Baron just as a bumper. Baron first, by the way.
It's a very nice bumper. Yeah, I think the not playing the Prester is very scary here.
Ooh, but that cleave is so
all the
bad.
1/1s go down.
All right,
Evil
I think it's
1/1s.
going to be enough for the Mutinous here.
If the cleave goes off again, which it doesn't,
It doesn't, but
it's going to be a win for plants. The plants are the winners, and with 4 plants out, that's going to be 10 damage, leaving Mutinous at 4 health.
that feels a bit scammy to me. I feel bad looking at that cleave killing 3-3 total in stats from Ken. Bit unfortunate, but he lives to see another day and he can still scale a lot from here because that second buddy can once again spit its stats onto 3 different minions on this board. He has picked up a selfless hero as well now, so that Baron is not just a meme on this board. It's gonna get some work done.
And we're hearing that Tess has faced another Amalgadon brand, so has more Amalgadons, but did lose to the Beast Alagos hybrid comp. And I don't think there was much over there for Tess to steal. So a little scary for Educated Collins knowing that. And hopefully they will get some more Amalgadons to help face them off. Some big bits there, all going on the same minions though. So really we're a 3 minion Tracy.
Yeah, we're 3 minion Ken here. And we saw his sour expression where he saw that it landed not on the Bronze Warden, which has been sitting there for so long, and not on the Baron either. So he hasn't created more threats. He has doubled down on the threats he has. But honestly, getting more stats on those really doesn't matter, especially on the poison minion, because this is not a high health minion lobby. It's turning into a poison battle lobby. So you want to spread your stats more evenly so that every minion can go toe-to-toe with every poison on the other side. Hoff here, though, setting up a pretty good chance of getting poison on the Amalgadon and ends with the selfless hero, but that's only 1 utility minion here and just kind of naked poisons on the rest. I feel like Ken can still take this care of his big Wildfire Elemental, which is golden.
Interesting positioning here with the... You normally put your lower health Murlocs far left and saving your higher health to the right, just guaranteeing more avenges for your Amalgadon to get poison and just better trades. But oh, these attacks hurt. They're so powerful.
Yeah, that cleave actually means that Hoff is going out here from 12 straight down to 0 for exact lethal by Ken. We have our top 4, our top 3 in the books.
Yes, it looks like Educated Collins lost to Be Nice. We saw Be Nice had that crazy board, and Be Nice put in his Prester Pyrospine to knock off Divine Shields. Educated Collins not looking happy about that. Could have really turned it around after that turn with all these Amalgadons that Be Nice had waiting for him, but just wasn't enough. Now Be Nice gets to face the Ghost of Hoff, which is a very nice greedy turn for him. And we see that these the dragons beast have turned into, in fact, dragons with a brand, so could get more Amalgadons going because this is a sad Amalgadon currently.
It's just amazing how chromoing with Nadina can just be an endgame comp. You don't even need Kalagos, because if you get enough attack on the chromo wings early on and you have enough levels on them, they scale so quickly. They're essentially poison minions. And if you put Divine Shield on poison, well, that is the best type of unit in the game. Unfortunately, I am not sure if everything is going to work out in his favor. The Nadina is going to be a big deal, which means that potentially the cleave from Ken won't get full value. But we remember that Ken has that Mega Wind Fury at the start here. So if he attacks first, then he can potentially kill these dragons before Nadina even goes off. It's going to be a very, very contentious fight.
Yeah, I like this endgame Macaw, but I wonder if that Nadina needs to go second in fear of the the Mega Wind Fury. But the Mega Wind Fury isn't first, it's second.
Right.
And even though they go second, but the Mega Wind Fury not being in first position is quite shocking to me.
Right. I mean, maybe Ken was thinking that the Nadinas were taunted at this point, so Mega Wind Fury first, not necessarily...
Oh, very true. Yep.
really, really hard to get a read on your opponents here. But even despite all of that, it's going to work out in favor of Ken here, just barely. That was such a close fight here. And it's not even enough to kill Bayou. Bayou holds on by a thread. And that is huge for the implications of the overall lobby, because it's kind of just whoever faces Zyrella is on the chopping block.
Yes, because Zyrel has all the pieces. 3 Amalgadons with more opportunity because of the Seafood Singer in hand. Nadina and a Prester to shoot off Divine Shields. The Prester has not been scaled, so can get zapped quite easily. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, also note that because both Babofat and Kurt, who were sort of close to Be Nice and points at the prior to this game, have been knocked out, I think that Be Nice is guaranteed to be ahead of the lobby after this game pans out. He's very likely taking a first place as well, so he could get a relatively large lead on the rest of the field, which was very tight for first through fourth leading up to this point. Is there anything that he needs to be worried about, Slissa? This looks like a near perfect board state to me.
Yeah, he was looking at tripling the Seer, which just isn't necessary. He gets more stats if he uses them separately, and then can always just triple using the Seafood Slinger. So I do like that he passed up on that. Can't get the Macaw because of all the plants that are on the Amalgadons, but I think he's just like in a pretty comfortable place. He knows that he's the one with the Amalgadons in this lobby. No one else has them. He knows that because Mutinous is on tier 4, and I believe he's faced Mukla previously and knows kind of the board state over there.
Right. Like, the only way to maybe improve this board from Be Nice is to get higher than 7 attack on the Pyrospon to play around Zap a little bit, but that's really just thinking like the worst possible scenario. I don't think he even loses if he gets zapped, because he just has the Divine Shields and the Poison and the Scaling. He got to tier 6 very quickly, utilizing what Zyrella does best, right? If everybody is playing a bit slowly, nobody spikes early, you can use your hero power and super efficient economy to hit.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the ghost.
No, yeah, to get that economy, go straight up to 6 first and make sure that you can hit all the Amalgadons, hoard them before anyone else. And crucially, he killed Collins on the turn he faced them so that Collins could not steal them as Tess.
Yep. So here we see, I mean, this is probably going to be nice, right? But I'm actually not sure. We are looking for the triple selfless here. That is what's going to improve his board. Be Nice can actually get out of his buddy to improve his board. It is a big, large minion, but doesn't have Divine Shield, doesn't have Poison.
I mean, I also wanted to say that I thought Be Nice would just win the whole thing because he seems to have the Poison and the Pyrospon, but we were in a similar position like last game, right? Where it did end up going in favor of the other player. So it's very hard to evaluate without seeing the percentages that both players will have available to them. But we can see Be Nice is improving the board even further. He has a triple yet to be discovered. Second Nadina. Nuts.
Yep, this is excellent for Be Nice. And I will say yesterday we were trying to maybe write off Zyrella, but I think she is back. She is still strong. We got a triple into SI7, which means we will have a possible Poison Murloc, which can help defeat those big dragons. Doesn't get that banana out last minute. Not the end of the world. Is this going to be enough to take on the Amalgadons, the Nadinas, the Prestor?
The Ghoul going first is huge because the Nadina is relatively far back for Be Nice. So a lot of these Amalgadons will die before actually, even all of them potentially. No, never mind. Snipe the Nadina, which is not good for Ken. And I think...
Oh, this is the end of the road for Ken. Yeah, that Nadina placement actually needed to be farther up because of ghouls. It should be second if you're expecting a ghoul sometimes. But it all worked out for Be Nice, taking the first place in this lobby.
That is right. Be Nice pulls himself far into the lead of the rest of the lobby here. Our first real front runner after game 3. 16.5 points, only 3.5 away from being the first player to arrive in check position. For Ken, though, that was a very solid showing. He's had 2 second places here, getting him in second place overall as well. I really like that Ghoul Tech trying to catch Be Nice off guard. I'm sure it got him a lot more percentage than he was meant to have. Didn't work out in the end, but I still love to see that Ken is going for every improvement on odds that he can get here. Over on the bottom of the table, though, we have sort of our 2 admitted favorites, Ponpada and Colin, struggling.
Yes, they are struggling, but we saw that Kurt, he did have a struggling first game and is making a comeback, so we'll see some comebacks coming probably from them soon. Look at these achievements from Be Nice. #1 ranking season in seasons 1 and 2 of Battlegrounds, and top 4 ranking in season 4. His favorite hero being Prince Gallywix, which I think is a lot of people's, but no one successful with him in this tournament. And obviously to pair with Gallywix's favorite minion, Cave Hydra, get that massive cleave early.
I feel like everybody's still stuck in a couple patches ago where Gallywix really was the uncontested triple S tier hero and the only one there. But with the armor, with the changes to the buddies, we can see, especially in this tournament setting as well, where everybody is prepared to punish you at the first sign of any cracks in the armor or too much greed, any small mistake, you can die. And Gallywix is all about surviving till that turn where you can start popping off with the brand and all the infinite money. Nobody's been able to get to that point because everybody's been punishing the Galley players. But that's right, we did get to highlight Be Nice as the front runner in the lobby so far, and absolutely just a very, very nice person and positive member of the community. He lives up to his name. Like, I tuned into his stream a while ago, and he was talking about how, yeah, it would be nicer if we had a larger sample size of games in the early part of the day, but he was saying that check format, even though it's really stressful for the players, he appreciates it because he knows it's going to be great for the viewers and the casters as well, and I love to hear that.
Yeah, it is such a great viewing experience to watch the check format. So much excitement and cheering going on. And I'm sure Be Nice has a ton of people cheering for him, as we talked about earlier. Some of these players are big community members, other are new faces, and Be Nice is a streamer. He has all his fans in chat spamming emotes, and I'm sure they're continuing to spam and cheer him on to victory.
That is right. And we have talked about the players at the top and the ones at the bottom so far, but there is a very tight race towards the middle as well. Bayou and Hoff just quietly racking up a consistent amount of points. They're still very much in contention to get to check position first. Just one first place can make a huge difference here. And even after someone gets in check, that is by no means a guarantee to be towards the end of the day. I can't wait to see when somebody gets in check how our players' attitude is going to change. Maybe one of the players that they underestimate can creep up there if nobody really puts their focus on trying to knock those ones down. And Slissa, 3 games into the day, how are you feeling? Energy levels all right?
Oh, they're great. I'm very excited. It's keeping me awake watching all these fun, exciting games. You know, I've seen some long casts who have to cast a bunch of control v control, warrior v warrior games, and they're so slow. This isn't like that because this is just thrilling all the way through. We have players who were doing poorly in the beginning and just making their epic comebacks like Ken. We have our consistent players like Hoff, who's just consistently top 4 in 3rd place right now. Lots of action, and I'm just loving this casting experience.
Hey, hold on, Slissa. Control warrior mirrors in constructed, you press your hero power button every turn. And in BG, if you can press your hero power button, you do it every turn too, most likely. So
but it's less boring, and there's way more action packed in there than just pressing a button, unless you're Guff. Guff, happy cow, me press button, me win lobby now. Like, that's a different thing.
Something all constructed and BG players can relate to is hating on Guff's power level at the moment, or just getting a bit traumatized by facing a Guff a bit earlier than you wanted to. But that is, of course, only our 3rd game of the day. Once again, we don't know how many total games are going to be played today, so there's could still be a lot more action here depending on how the points shake out. But we are going to go to a slightly longer break now since we have had tons of Battlegrounds action, give our players a chance to settle down, and for Be Nice in particular, calm his nerves because he's so close to getting to check. Do not go anywhere. Right after this, it's going to be Game 4 of Lobby Legends Raid Leaders.